I'm just going to go out and say it. It's probably the worst year I've had on YouTube since I've started making videos. I'm anxious all the time. Constantly, I second guess everything I do. I hate myself 5 times out of 10. I went through a massive depressive phase, like a period last year for like a full month where I wasn't happy with my life. I was in a relationship that I wasn't happy with that was very bad for my mental health. In 2017, I talked about having the worst year of my life and having some of the biggest mental health struggles that I've ever had. I decided I was going to take some time off for Christmas. I wanted to take time off for Christmas anyway, and it was the first time that I'd been properly alone for a really, really long time. I needed some me time because, as I said, so much went on this year that I felt like that I needed to just sit and think. I needed to be alone with my thoughts for a little while. And I bawled my eyes out. I didn't know if people even cared about me. I started thinking about suicide for the first time in my life. Like, I thought about the act of doing it. I've always kind of felt like I have some sort of underlying anxiety and stress just from the work that I do, that there has to be a video all the time. And when I don't upload, I have this like immense sense of guilt that I'm not contributing the way people expect me to. I'm terrible at comparing myself to other people and wondering why my brain doesn't work the same as other people's, why my motivation lacks. I feel like I can't even interact with the internet the way I used to because it just makes me so anxious all the time now. Everywhere I look, everyone's just fighting with each other, everyone's attacking one another. It just feels like the fun of everything is kind of going away. And anybody that's watched me for any length of time knows just how important mental health is to me, because I've gone through my own struggles with mental health over the years and still struggle with my mental health. Every 90 minutes, someone in the UK or Ireland takes their own life as well. That alone is the biggest killer of young people under 25 and middle-aged men. But I realized how lonely I started to get. Some friendships that I had weren't what I thought they were. They weren't as good as I thought they were, and I felt sort of discarded and devalued as a person. And I'm also someone who will put the blame entirely on myself for that. And I got to a point where I started to think, I'm like, man, do I actually have depression at this point? Am I actually that upset? Am I that lost? Am I that confused about what's going on? It was the first time it actually started to scare me. It was the first time in my life where I was like, would people even miss me if I was gone? And I definitely got to like my rock bottom. I started to doubt my own self-worth. I started to doubt so many different things that were going on with me. I started to go over situations that had happened during the year and started making them all my own fault in my head and how to fix them and different things. It was weird, and I started to worry then that I wasn't the same person anymore. And I was like, reading down the list, I was like, if you have autism, you likely have ADHD, you likely have depression and anxiety, you likely have intestinal issues, you likely have hypermobility and joint issues, and you likely have asthma. And I was like, I have all of these things. I'm like legitimately clinically depressed and diagnosed and gone to my doctor for it over the years and have been seeing a therapist for a long time. I'm on medications for depression and anxiety to try and deal with my own mental health. My dad passed away recently. To any of you who posted memes about it and posted negative stuff about it, you are absolute and I hate you because you made something that was hard so much harder to go through. I'm going to keep grieving in my own ways. I'm going to keep processing it. I'm going to come back when I feel more ready, in a much better headspace. Is it just me, or does it feel like the internet is just getting angrier and angrier all the time? People with ADHD can have autism as well, that they overlap with each other quite a lot. But all the people out there, whenever I'm playing video games, and they're like, man, Sean's so distracted. What is he, stupid? I was pulling my hair out every time he did this. You guys are making fun of an autistic person. Bet you don't feel so good now, huh? You guys were attacking me over stuff that I can't control. How does that feel, huh? Not so good. Because I've always tried to be upbeat and positive and tried to look at the best in absolutely everything and try to give off that energy to you guys and pass on that sort of positivity. And I felt like this year I wasn't trying my hardest to do that because different things inside my head started to get me down. I've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of reflecting and a lot of reprioritizing, trying to figure out what exactly it is that I want out of my life. and trying to view myself differently and trying to go easier on myself. And a lot of the struggles that I've been through as a kid and things like that I didn't realize I had gone through, I just have like a soup of like mess going on inside of me. Makes me go easier on myself, being like, okay, that's why I couldn't really keep up in college, because my brain just kind of like works at a different pace. It doesn't really study things the way other people study it in a neurotypical way. I think mainly I started getting my confidence sort of shook because of different things that had happened that year publicly. It has been such an emotional roller coaster of a year. This has been the most trying year that I've ever gone through. Why? The most trying year that I've ever gone through mental health wise. There's so many things that happened this year, and so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and so much stuff that you don't get to see, or I can't talk about, or I wish I could talk about. And I didn't even realize that it was such a bad thing until recently, where I struggled a lot with my identity. I realized that I was doing YouTube so vigorously for so long that I was starting to get a bit burnt out in it, and I needed to take some more breaks for myself. I mean, because we started the channel at 30,000 subscribers at the start of the year, and now it's almost at 2 million. Because I didn't think this would be my job. I didn't intend for this to be my job. It's amazing that I get to do it as my job, but I just did it because it was fun. I still do it because it's fun. I thought about it a lot, where I'm like, do I even enjoy this job? Do I even like doing this anymore? Is my passion even there? Anyway, my mind's a mess and I don't really know how to deal with it most of the time, but hopefully some of you out there can relate to it, and maybe other YouTubers can relate to it as well. I don't have that many like close friendships that I can kind of like lean on. And I still kind of struggle with it. I get pretty lonely, like, very often. I'm kind of like still seeking out big brothers, because I feel like my brothers weren't really there for me as much as I wanted when I was younger. Or like, if you're depressed and you have ADHD, your brain is not really working the way you want it to. I still have a hard time with myself mentally 24/7. My brain is always working, trying to figure out what other people are thinking, overanalyzing other people, overanalyzing myself, picking up everything in my environment all around me all the time. Like half the time I'm just like, man, I suck. Why can't I do this? I have an idea that I want to do, but I don't have the motivation and the ambition and the energy to do it. Do I even want to do this stuff? I've been going to therapy now for the last 2 years, very frequently, like at least once a week. Suicide is a leading cause of death in the US and affects people of all ages. It was responsible for 1 death every 11 minutes in 2022 in the US. That you may not think you have much sway or much power or anything like that on the channel, or you have no contribution because you're just one person, but you really do. I appreciate every single one of the people who watch my videos, and everyone will always say like, you deserve this, Jack. Congrats, Jack. Thank you, Jack. Like, no, don't do that. Please, just thank yourselves. You guys are the ones who have changed everything for me, and I should be thanking you all the time, and I will. I'll continue thanking you every single day that I can.